What's going on, gamers? We got an interesting post here coming out of the PlayStation world again. Yeah, meaning regarding the drama with Sony ending physical media. Yeah, it gets more interesting. And it's not just about fans and Sony. Now it's about third-party developers. Third-party developers paying Sony on their social media and on their YouTube to actually promote their content, and them not liking that it's affecting their algorithms. And not only that, Sony is doing something else that is going to surprise you. Are we ready to get into this? Become a member, leave a tip down below, like, comment, subscribe. Let's do this. Okay, so third-party game studios pays Sony thousands. You see this? Third party, because you know how big third party is on PlayStation. We're talking about this. They pay them thousands of dollars for PlayStation social media promotions, right? And you know about promos on YouTube. You could do that. You could also pay for promos on Twitter as well and spike up the views. This is basically what's going on. But when that's going on, they kind of feel like some of their money is getting wasted because Sony has so much backlash over the removal of physical media, and they get community noted. And there was tons of community notes going on consistently nonstop since Sony has announced that, and it's making third-party developers get annoyed, as we see, and backlash over removal of physical media. A report from Moore's Law is Dead, he's coming in on this, reveals that third-party developers are paying Sony thousands of dollars to feature their games on PlayStation official social media at Pacific times. These paid costs are receiving negative comments. That's kind of like non-related, because it's like usually you just advertise me, right? Third-party games, you know what I mean? And you got the biggest platform for that, so let's just do that. But I feel like your decision is affecting my third-party promotions, plus I'm spending money on it. So they said the post receiving negative comments, community notes, which we'll get to in a second, and community notes from players upset with Sony's shift away from physical media. So right here, we kind of get the idea that Sony can say they can ignore the fans, right? But they can't ignore third-party publishers. They can't ignore when third-party publishers are coming to them. Remember when Nishino says how important PlayStation is for third-party? And we all know this, like, they can't ignore them. So that's where it starts to become a problem for Sony. So if you guys kind of felt like, you know, you're looking for some type of win, or you're looking for some type of way to like make them kind of be a little bit worried, this is it right here. Because now third-party developers are stepping in, official partners with them in how they make business and do business in this industry. So this type of stuff matters. Here's the other thing though. PlayStation disabled YouTube comments. What? What? Are they really doing this? So that means you are kind of getting to them. PlayStation disabled YouTube comments on a related video amid fan protests, including no disc, no buy, trend, hashtag as we see right here, and boycott Sony campaigns. That type of stuff matters because this is going to affect third-party publishers and developers. And Sony is going to have to find a way to kind of combat this. Has things died down, of course, compared to before? Sure. But if you're paying somebody, you expect the business you usually got before. And I think third-party developers and publishers, definitely publishers, should be aware that this is kind of like going on. But they're saying, hey, man, this is on you, Sony. This is not on us. It's not the way we want to actually do business. So let's get into this. Let's read some of these comments. It's going to get very interesting. And then let's see what they're talking about. So Pirate Nation says the same thing right here. The report says some developers are frustrated because those paid posts are flooded with negative comments and community notes, as we see right here, which we'll read, from players mad with PlayStation's recent decisions to end physical media. It also says that this could become a bigger problem for future marketing campaigns, with Grand Theft Auto 6 mentioned as one example if the backlash continues. Here's the thing. I kind of feel like that's a double backlash because they're not providing a physical medium either. But they got something that they know it doesn't matter. People are going to still go support the product. Now, what Sony is doing is they're ending something across every third-party publisher and developer in the industry and even their own. So that's why that's like, oh, man, that's a problem. Rockstar started it to initiate it, and theirs is coming closer than Sony's in 2028. So you wonder, will they ever give you that physical disc medium? Because Sony said If it's something that comes out before 2028, you can still do it. So that's on Rockstar, if you get what I mean when it comes to that. And shame on them, because like I said, they have the biggest influence in the third-party industry. They're about to drop it right now, the biggest game of the year, right? And one of the probably the biggest game of all time. Or one of, if not, right? And that's what PlayStation, which is going to be their biggest partner. So they're both pushing this medium. There's no doubt about this. So I think they're going to be getting backlash too when that type of stuff happens. And Pirate says, good job, guys. If this is true, complaining works. We're doing a little bit more than that. As we see, this is now up to 200,000 views. This just started heating up 3 hours ago, and it's already at 3,439 posts. So take a look at some of the stuff that's going on here. We could say, readers add context they thought people might want to know. And it says right here, Sony is pushing a digital monopoly. Ending physical discs and closing PlayStation 3 and Vita stores turns purchases into revocable license under Sony's control. The European penalized Apple for comparable DMA abuses. If you don't remember, Apple did that a while ago. Look what happened in the long term, but that's Apple though. PlayStation is eroding ownership and consumer choice the same way. Yeah, no doubt about that. You know, we kind of get the idea here. Sony is pushing an all-digital future without being upfront about its limits. PlayStation 5 downloads can't be played from USB, and expanding storage requires an expensive NVMe SSD that's kind of catered to the PlayStation algorithm. That's very true. You can't just go get whatever you want. It's whatever Sony allows and the way they set it up, which of course is going to benefit them. Digital games are licenses, not true ownership. Physical discs preserve choice, competition, and ownership, and discoverability in a certain sense too. Like if somebody's just walking in the store and they haven't played a game before, but all of a sudden they run into like a physical section of the world and they're like, maybe I might want to try PlayStation one day. It's not as huge as it used to be, because this is what I told people before as well, that there are certain physical games that will never appear that had their time to be in the store. And because of the digital format, it's there. You would never see that because you can't go to a Walmart, Target and see 1,000 physical video game cases all over the place. No, there's a limitation in that glass, right? And it's the most current up-to-date stuff. Whereas with digital, you can still have all those old games and stuff like that. If ownership was there, I think people would be a little bit more happy. So you have to search for used copies of that or hope that it's somewhere out to be bought. You know, outside of that though, it's a little bit rough sometimes. Rockstar are not releasing GTA 6 on physical disc. The physical version is just a code for the digital version of the game. This is important, as via PlayStation EULA, you are not guaranteed to keep the game after purchase, and it could get taken away at any point. But GTA 6 is not going to be going down. You know what I mean? It's like it's going to be up for a long time, and it's not really nothing to worry about. But I get what they're saying though in regards to like other mediums. Sony's pushing an all-digital future without being upfront about its limits on PS5 dollars. Okay, we've seen that already. Important information on consumer rights. Sony is currently attempting to establish a digital monopoly by eliminating physical media, and as a result, free competition in the distribution of PlayStation video games, providing users with non-transferable revocable license instead. These are some of the comments, and this is just a little bit. There is a ton of community notes if you guys don't know about it. It's pretty crazy, right? So let's go down and read some comments after this. We got 224 here, and we could take a look at his other posts too. Lone Wolf says, and this guy's a Destiny aspect here, so you know he loves Destiny. This is exactly why the community notes is a terrible future. It's open to abuse. Sony should discontinue the X PlayStation accounts and move over to Blue Sky and turn off comments in the posts they make. No, he did not just do that. Whoa, oh, bro, this guy is a loser. The behavior of users on X is shocking. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is the weakest post I've seen in all of this. Pathetic. This way. Pathetic. That is pathetic. That right there is pathetic. This is pathetic. Stack and Cheddar says, keep it up. If we're lucky, PlayStation 6 will be Sony's Dreamcast. Well, let me tell you something. With the way the market is going, until like we get past 2028 and the prices actually come down and are able to drop the price and give you deals, I think the PS6 is going to be the lowest sold PlayStation if the market stays like that. I think what Sony should be happy to get is probably 50 million sales. Right? But if the market gets better in 2029, 2030, which I think it should, and should crash down, they're like, okay, I could drop the price of this right now down to $200. Because now this is no longer applicable anymore and everything should go down, right? Something like that. But I could see why people want to feel this way right now, because the PlayStation 6 has to have the most flair, attractivity, game development and publishing, and exclusive content more than any other PlayStation console in history, and next-gen innovative features. It can't just be about power. And you're going to make this look this good. Man, that's already enough. People are already okay with that. What you need is everything I just said. And by taking away physical disc, I don't know how that's going to affect the PlayStation 6 launch in totality. But I know it's going to affect them a little bit, but I don't know if it's going to be largely. First, we have to see how all this plays out until we get to that moment. That's the thing with here. But I don't think it's going to be selling on 10 million or like that. No. PlayStation 6 is easily going to sell like 50 million no matter what. But 100 million, forget about it. I can't even see that even being possible. Unless I see a market where Sony's like, okay, now we're dropping the PlayStation 6 down to $600. The market is fine now. And it's like, if it gets down to that and then they start doing sales and adjusting everything else, then maybe there could be like a burst catch-in or a burst catch-up and things are fine. We'll see though. Like I said, we have to literally get to that moment to find out how that's going to play out. And we got 454 people liking this. This is how you know nobody takes this more seriously. Going down, Rappy says, good job. Continue to press the issue until they redo their stupid decision or until they completely crashed out. It's going to be tough, man, because Call of Duty and GTA, as I told you guys before, the way that things are being pushed with that, people are going to give in and we're going to see what happens. But that doesn't mean you should stop fighting, though. See what happens, because obviously third-party publishers outside of that are getting annoyed, as we just read. Bungie Dungle says, I gotta just say how over the past months, and especially now, it's been absolutely awesome to see everyone go from, I hate this, but what can we realistically do, for the longest time to, I've decided we're gonna change things up a bit. Oh yeah, hold on, let me just go out to you, for you guys right here. You see how the way he ended that right there? You gotta get the look right here. We're kind of getting like some, man, you know what this reminded me of, even if it wasn't that? What's the name of that game? The Wolf game, Wolf Among Us. Love that game. I'm looking forward to the sequel. So cool post right here. So that's another stupid comment, I can already tell. Dash Attack says, fantastic. Companies will allocate their marketing money elsewhere, incentivizing Sony to either backpedal or negotiate a solution where physical PS5 games can still be released. Well, here's the thing. Anything after or before 2028 can have a physical copy permanently. Sony said that. The thing is that I don't understand why, if anything was going to be a cross-gen game in the PS6 era, you would cut that off. You just let PlayStation 5 stay physical. You shouldn't cut off physical at a certain life cycle, because PlayStation 5 is not going to end when PS6 comes out. There's going to be a ton of people like there were in the PS4 generation for quite some time. And there's going to be a lot of cross-gen support, because you're not going to be able to just do an exclusive on PS6, definitely with the way everything's going now and the prices, and expect to be able to get those exclusive sales. Unless you got something like a next-gen God of War or like a Naughty Dog game like a Last of Us 3 or something. Yeah, maybe you could get that and sell millions with that the whole generation. But even then, I don't know. I think we'll be seeing cross-gen support for quite some time. Carlos says, it's quite clear that Sony didn't consider how the customers and their business partners will be negatively affected by this. They didn't consider them at all because they don't care about them at all. I don't know about that, because they can't afford to lose all that third-party support. I just think when they looked at the market and they saw what happened with GTA, they kind of just thought that they could just chameleon right in and everything was going to be okay. And I think for the most part, when you really look at what happened with Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2, the PlayStation Plus increase, and then you saw them drop Modern Warfare 3, Sony like looks and they start laughing. And they're like, it kind of is okay in a sense. And social media is social media. Let's see the real impact of the results though first, right? That's what I want to see. I want to see the numbers. I want to see the results. Of course, I like that this is already coming out and that is actually happening when third-party developers and publishers are basically telling Sony, hey man, what the hell's going on here, right? You do kind of want that going on, and you kind of got a response from that. And Sony turning off YouTube comments, are you kidding me? Yeah, that says a lot right here. It really does. So yeah, guys, we get some inside intel right here, but the crazy stuff, like we said before, is them coming in, turning off YouTube comments. It's like, wait, what are we doing here, Sony, right? So I want you guys to let me know what you actually think about this. Remember, third-party game studios are paying Sony thousands of dollars. And they're getting upset over the negative comments and the community notes, right? Developers expressed their frustration. PlayStation users have also protested using analogies like the hot dog ownership to criticize the shift to digital-only games. This just got updated. They removed the other aspect, so that's what's being updated right there. But yeah, them removing YouTube comments is actually pretty crazy. Then that's crazy because you know what? That actually would have disappeared. But it is going on, though. Rhino says PlayStation is reportedly making various studios furious as they pay them thousands of dollars to feature their games on social media, only for the post to get flooded with angry comments. He's saying the same thing. This may possibly derail promotional campaigns for other games, including GTA 6. Don't give up. Keep up the pressure. Our voices must be heard. PlayStation turns comments off on YouTube as fans continue yelling about physical games. Yeah. It says right here, the Instant Sports 2 trailer is marked as made for kids. YouTube disables comments on all made for kids videos. So, I don't know, maybe or maybe not. We'll see what happens. It's a video marked for kids. Comments on these are off by default. You can't enable them. Their other videos don't have them off. Nice headline, Kotaku. Ooh, so it looks like something is miscommunicated here. Crying about physical games. Some people need to go outside. There's an entire world outside of the video game console and television, I promise you. It's more enjoyable. See, you know, when it comes to people like that, I do not know what to tell you guys. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. If you see this happening, let me know. So apparently getting down to this, that's why I'm glad I did. The community note is saying this because those are kids games. The Instant Sports 2 trailer. Yeah, I guess so. Looks like Sony isn't doing that. But what is the main headline, which is why I think this actually just got removed, is the social media promotions face backlash of Sony's media phase, and they're making publishers actually get worried. So no matter what, guys, keep on gaming, no matter what platform you're on. As usual, I'm trying to fully cover this. Anything comes up, I'm obviously having it on my channel. If there's good content to cover, we'll do that. You know, I was doing that plenty before this came out. It's like, Sony, what the hell, man? You had a good spree going. But there we have it. Later, y'all. Keep on gaming and keep on fighting.